to boots. He's gonna go right to the source of the biggest vessels. And he'll kind of show you quickly in just a minute, like I wanted to tell you before he does it, because it'll go too fast. But he's gonna start near the groin. He's gonna, one thing Dave likes to do is just sort of elevate the leg over his shoulder, and he can sort of grab both sides and using that sweeping and raking with his hands together and run the entire leg to see if there's any moisture, blood, deformity, tear, whatever, stab. And then he'll go to the other one, and when he works up to the neck and goes to the side, he'll kind of do everything he can from one side of the body, then he'll roll the patient toward him and finish the back while the patient is still rolled toward him in one motion. When he's done with that, he's essentially in that recovery position, and you'll see him just sort of move the hand under the head, make sure the leg is straight, do the kickstand. He'll demonstrate that for you, and then he's ready to move to the next patient. Okay, so he's gonna do kind of the bleeding evaluation, starting, he's gonna come into the feet, but really lay his hands kind of in the groin to start where the big blood vessels are.
So before we get started, the RTF we're talking about, we need 2 officers, right? So officer 1 is gonna be my point guy facing that way. So we're looking for shooters that way, okay? So I need a second officer, you want to be my second officer, he's facing behind me. So I have, I have this window of places to go, right? So if I'm in a big section, if I'm in a big room, I don't want to wander too far out into the area that's going to be open. I want to stay as close to these guys as I can, and they know that I'm in this window, right? They're probably a little edgy because they're carrying a gun and there's some things going on, so pushing them around is not something you want to do, right? But you want to be in contact with them, right? So if I'm in here with 2 people, he's standing guard, I can come in and he can start talking on his radio. Hey, I'm +1. Hey, I got a red in here. Well, I can start my exam. We don't need both of us hovering and doing too many things. We want to get quick focus, do hands-on assessment, and we're either going to treat and move or treat and move on, correct? So unlike trauma assessments, you start head to toe, checking, make sure there's breathing. You're going to check for, is he awake? Hey, buddy, you okay? So right away, he's not talking to me or he's moaning, now I have a red, right? So things are going to want to go priority first, right? So you're looking for places that you're going to put a tourniquet on. That's all you're worried about. You're not worried about what are you going to do with abdomen stuff if you see it. So first thing you do is come in, you're going to see something, you're going to see a wound. So you see a wound in his thigh, you want to start treating right away. You don't need to look about the rest of it. Put your knee on it. You're looking for that vessel that's right above that bone. You try to get at the artery. So put pressure on it. Put your hand on it. Go after your tourniquet and shut the whole system down. So right away, I'm putting pressure on the bleed to get it to stop. Put your tourniquet on. Go high, go tight. Dr. Stroman covered this earlier in the presentation. Make it priority that you put it on and you put it on correctly, and so you can shut the whole leg down, right? So now this one's done. I don't have to worry if it's high up by the thigh, if it's down by the leg, he's got an amputation. Just shut the whole thing down, and now I can move on to other parts, correct? I'll let Dr. Stroman talk while I actually do it.
Yeah, so if I'm the second guy, again, we're the team of 4. We've got forward security, rear security. I'm the guy on the radio. He's doing the exam. We don't both need to be doing that, obviously. I'm probably carrying the mega mover while he's doing that. If we were going to make a movement, if this is our last patient, or we're going to move him somewhere else or take him to a casualty collection point, I might be throwing out the mega mover while he's doing that, other than doing the communication. So now after he completed down low, he came up high. He's already gone through the armpits and the neck. Now he's rolling over, looking at the back. You see how he's sweeping floor to floor is the way I like to think of it. He went all the way across the back, all the way across the abdomen, just in one stroking motion. So he's already pretty much finished that. He's checked off that he's got everything. He's looking, he's done. If we were going to move, we would throw this out and perform a 1 or 2 man maneuver. If we're treat, move, treat, there's more victims, as he said, we'll just leave him here. He's got him in a recovery position. You want to kick your kickstand up there, Dave? Mm-hmm. Just pop that there. Mm-hmm. Pop that knee up. Now this, you can see, this is what I was talking about. The pelvis is slightly tilted toward his face, so he's not going to roll backwards. And the arm underneath here, you can either put it under his mouth, or in this case, if he looks comfortable in that position, you just move on.
I'm going to borrow you a second here, sir, and give you some direction. So now we're going to roll him back over, and now he's on a mega mover. So we're ready to move, right? So let's talk about some ways of actually moving the mega mover. So if I could have you grab onto the bottom of this, sir, and just grab by the feet like you're going to grab here and here, and you're going to pick them up, right? So this is probably one of the worst ways they're going to carry somebody, because A, he's going to bend, B, it's a lot of unstable motion to him, and we're picking up all pounds of him, every ounce of this guy, whether he's big, tiny, it's a lot of weight, and you're gonna get injured or you're gonna get tired, correct?
If you move him to the front door or to a collection point, you're gonna be spent right
So
there.
go to the middle?
If you've got 2 or 3 more people to move, you wanna maintain
So,
a little bit of your energy.
same thing applies when you do this, you're picking the whole thing up, it's pretty unstable on where you're gonna be moving them. So, if we were gonna pick up one side, do you pick up the heavy trunk side, or do you pick up the leg side? Let the weight stay on the ground, right? You're not taking this guy down the steps. If I could just have you grab on here by his feet, just pick up this way, you were gonna head that direction, just drag him, okay? Yeah, it's probably uncomfortable for him, but most manageable for us, right? You've done your thing, you're trying to move quickly, try to use less energy to him. So, let's just say we have to take him down some steps, right? Are you gonna wanna carry him in the ways we show you, or we're gonna show you a diaper effect, and I'll let you talk while we kinda do this.
Sure. So to get the diaper effect, you just basically take the lower portion, bring it up toward the
You take
center,
your hand.
similar to the video that
Connect these two
Bill
together
showed
one
with the
hand.
other type of mega
Pick
mover
up
where they
this.
had a central belt. We just sort of fashion our own
I'm gonna
belt.
turn it this way.
And in this case, 2 people can take him down the stairway without too much difficulty. Okay? You just let his legs hang. We're not worried about C-spine. We're not worried about, even if he has an injury to the legs, you know, we're trying to save lives, stop bleeding, get him to the next level. All that stuff you learned in school about spider straps and spin them in the roulette wheel with the backboard, it all goes out the window.